Good day, grade 10, and welcome to week 9 of our lesson on homeostasis. This is actually the continuation of our lesson yesterday, and this time we will focus on homeostasis and how it is maintained through what we know as feedback mechanism. So it's either positive or negative. As you watch, keep asking yourself, when the body detects a change, how does it respond? Before the lesson proper, let's begin with a pre-assessment. Choose the word or concept that best completes each sentence. For number 1, which organ system takes care of communication and coordination among the other organ systems? Correct. The answer is nervous system. Number 2, the tendency of living systems to keep internal conditions and variables stable is called what? Correct. The answer is homeostasis. Think back to our previous lesson about maintaining internal balance. It has been mentioned. Question number 3. A blank feedback mechanism causes the production of hormone to stop. Is it positive, negative, variable, or controlled? Choose one of the term that best matches a response that counteracts or stops a change. The correct answer is negative feedback. Question number 4. Regulation of which level in the blood by insulin and glucagon is an example of negative feedback. You may recall the indicator we discussed in our previous homeostasis lesson. The correct answer is glucose. Question number 5. The hypothalamus helps regulate body blank by triggering sweating or shivering. Think about the condition that becomes too high in hot weather and too low in cold weather. The correct answer is temperature. For question number 6, when blood pressure rises, receptors in blood vessels send signals to the brain. What happens to the heart rate as part of the response? Choose the response that would help counteract an increase in blood pressure, and that is decrease. For question number 7, a classic example of positive feedback occurs when oxytocin increases uterine contractions. During which process does this happen? Easy, easy. The correct answer is childbirth. Question number 8. Which part of the brain acts as the main controller of homeostasis? Look carefully at the choices. Actually, one of these was mentioned during our discussion of nervous and endocrine regulation. The answer is hypothalamus. Question number 9. What biological process allows the body to detect changes and initiate a response to restore balance? This term will be the central idea of today's lesson, and the answer is feedback mechanism. Last question. The endocrine system sends signals through hormones, while the nervous system sends signals through what? Choose the form of signal associated with neurons. After this, we will begin the lesson proper. And the answer is nerve impulses. Here are our learning targets, and by the end of the lesson, you should be able to differentiate positive and negative feedback mechanisms. Explain how the feedback mechanisms maintain body's homeostasis. Lastly, relate the concept of feedback mechanism to real-life biological examples. These three targets will guide our discussion. Let's have a recall. Again, what is homeostasis? Homeostasis is the ability of an organism to maintain a stable internal environment despite external changes. The important addition for today is that homeostasis is regulated by feedback mechanism. So our next question is, how does the body detect a change and decide what to do? Two major systems regulate the body's feedback mechanism: the nervous system, the diagram on the left side, and the endocrine system, the diagram on the right side. These systems help coordinate responses that maintain balance in our body, or also known as homeostasis. Let's have a deeper understanding about the function and role of each system. The nervous system controls and regulates body's processes by transmitting impulses along neurons na tinatawag din nating nerve cells. The hypothalamus, which is part of the brain, links to the nervous and the endocrine system. This part is what we know as the hypothalamus. This connection is important because maintaining homeostasis often requires communication between these two systems. On the other hand, the endocrine system consists of glands that produces chemical messengers or hormones. According to the slide, these hormones regulate body processes such as growth, metabolism, reproduction, and homeostasis. Unlike the nervous systems, nerve impulses, the endocrine system communicate through hormones. And keep that distinction in mind. Again, sa nervous system, ang ginagamit niya is neurons or nerve cell, while sa endocrine system naman, the one which assists this system is the hormones or chemical messengers. One endocrine gland highlighted here is the pituitary gland. Ayan, napag-aralan na natin yan last time. It is often called as the master gland. The slide emphasizes that it releases important hormones involved in regulating homeostasis. We will see the pituitary gland again when we discuss the positive feedback during childbirth. There are two types of feedback mechanism in our lesson: negative and positive feedback. Negative feedback detects a change and responds to reversing or counteracting it, bringing conditions back toward normal. Positive feedback, on the other hand, also detects a change, but instead of reversing it, the response makes the change stronger until the process is completed. Negative counteracts, positive amplifies. Let's begin with negative feedback. It is presented here as the most common control mechanism of the body of maintaining and regulating homeostasis. The key idea is when a condition moves away from normal, the response works in the opposite direction to help restore balance. A feedback mechanism can be understood through its core components. First is the stimulus, the change in the body or environment. Whatever changes happens in our environment, our body reacts with it. Next is the receptor, which detects a change. So yan yung nasa skin natin and other parts of the body. The control center decides what action to take. The effector carries out that action. And finally, the response is the action that helps correct the detect change. Again, the core components of feedback mechanism are the following: stimulus, receptor, control center, effector, and response. Remember, this order because we will apply this to several situations. Why is body temperature regulation an example of negative feedback? When temperature increases, the body responds through sweating to lower it. That's why whenever we exercise, tayo ay pinagpapawisan. When temperature decreases, the brain triggers shivering to increases. Kaya mapapansin nyo, pag nilalamig tayo, nagchichill tayo or nangingilig. In both cases, the response opposes the original change, na reverse, na baliktad siya. And that is the definition of negative feedback. Now, let's apply the same components to blood glucose. The stimulus is a rise in blood sugar after eating cake. Of course, pag kumain tayo na matamis, nag increase yung ating blood glucose level. Specialized cells in the pancreas detect the increase of blood glucose level, and the pancreas recognizes that the level is above normal. It then releases insulin into the bloodstream. The response includes body cells taking in glucose for energy and the liver converting excess glucose into glycogen. The result is a movement back toward balance. So still, the situation or the response is opposite, and this is negative feedback mechanism. Follow the sequence on this slide. A rise in blood glucose is detected by the pancreas. The pancreas releases insulin. Insulin triggers the liver to absorb excess sugar and helps body cells use glucose for energy. Ask yourself, is this response increasing the original change or counteracting it? Yes, it counteracts the rise, so it's negative feedback. Now, let us consider the opposite condition. When blood glucose becomes low, the pancreas detects the change and releases glucagon. Glucagon triggers the liver to release stored glucose by converting glycogen into sugar, making glucose available again in our body. This response helps raise a low glucose level back toward normal. Take a moment to study the visual on this slide. Use what we have just discussed to trace the relationship between insulin, glucagon, and blood glucose. Ask yourself, which hormone is associated in lowering a high glucose level? That is insulin. And which is associated with raising a low glucose level? None other than the glucagon. Let's apply the feedback components to blood pressure. The stimulus is an increase in blood pressure during activity. Baroreceptors located in the blood vessels detect rise. The brain, particularly the medulla oblongata, as shown here, receives the information. The heart and the blood vessels are the effectors. So, what will happen next? The response is a slower heart rate and widening of the blood vessels. So, as the blood vessels widens, bumababa ang blood pressure. These responses help counteract the increase in blood pressure. Now, we move to positive feedback. Unlike negative feedback, positive feedback strengthens the change instead of reversing it. So, meaning the response is being amplified. The examples given in our lesson are childbirth and blood clotting. As we examine them, notice how each response causes the process to continue or become stronger until the end point is reached. Let's trace positive feedback during childbirth. The process begins when the baby's head presses against the cervix or the neck of the uterus. This pressure is the stimulus. So, this part. The cervix detects the pressure, beginning a chain of signals which will intensify the process. Kaya sobrang sakit kapag nagli-labor ang isang pregnant woman. Next, the cervix sends nerve impulses to the hypothalamus in the brain. The hypothalamus then sends signals to the pituitary gland. Notice the cooperation between the nervous system and the endocrine system that we discussed earlier. The pituitary gland releases oxytocin into the bloodstream. And based on our previous lesson, ano ba yung role ni oxytocin? Oxytocin is a kind of hormone which increases uterine contraction. So kapag nagle-labor ang isang pregnant woman, sumasakit yon because of this. Those contractions push the baby harder against the cervix, increasing the original stimulus. Nung una, sumasakit lang, nagko-contract. But because of these hormones, mas sumakit, mas lumakas yung contraction. This is why it is known as positive feedback. The response strengthens the change rather than reversing it. As the contractions continue, the cervix starts to dilate or widen in preparation for the passage of the baby. Ayan, makikita nyo yan dito sa, ayan, bilugan natin. Ayan, so yan yung cervix. Nagda-dilate yan, ibig sabihin, unti-unti siyang lumalaki. No, it widens. The more oxytocin the pituitary gland releases, the stronger the uterine contractions become. So, mas sumasakit kapag nagle-labor. The cycle continues until the process is completed. This illustrates the amplifying nature of positive feedback. Our second positive feedback example is blood clotting. For example, nasugatan kayo, an injury occurs in a blood vessel. The injured vessel releases clotting substances, and platelets quickly attach to the exposed area, this part. This encourages more clotting activity at the injury site. The response builds on itself until the damaged area is sealed. Kaya siya tinawag na positive feedback mechanism. To summarize today's lesson, negative feedback counteracts change to restore balance, while positive feedback amplifies change until a process is completed. Once again, thank you for listening and keep safe. Goodbye!